Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in-depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling. I'm your host, Juji Gatami Josh, and joining me as always is La Primera Dawn. This episode we're covering WWE Monday Night Raw. Let's get into it. I got you.
I was already trying not to laugh because when the recording starts, it was the noise. I was like, whoa! I was like, I wasn't expecting that. And then Juju Gatami, Josh, and all I could hear,
Gatami Josh.
All I could hear was Taz losing his shit
somewhere. Yeah. But I digress. This episode of WWE Monday Night Raw is brought to us from the Golden Center in Sacramento, California. With, surprisingly, this caught us both off guard. The ring announcer Lillian Garcia is here on Raw.
Yes. I think it's because they had to say somebody needs to say championship 16 times that night. And I think WWE and the WWE universe loves how she says championship. So I think that's why they picked her.
Wait. Lillian's on the show. Say it again.
Championship.
I nailed it.
She says it with her entire face.
Like the whole face.
Yeah, she goes all in.
Well, the show opens with everyone's favorite GM, Adam Pearce in the ring.
Boo! Oh, sorry.
I said everyone's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Boo.
Boo, yeah.
And I guess he had to take a minute to stop slapping women and drinking heavily to come out and actually do some work. So he's out there and he's going on and on about how Seth was banged up after that match at Crown Jewel with Cody Rhodes, specifically where he did a coast to coast like flying headbutt and then landed on his arm weird, so his shoulders all jacked up.
Yeah, choices were made.
And he basically says that he's going to have to, vacate that title since Seth is going to be out for a while. And so he needs the Bronze and Paul Heyman to come bring him the belt. And they come out, the Bronze, and everyone's like, boo, boo,
the Bronze.
The Bronze. And Braun Breaker, who's looking awfully comfortable with a title that he has not won. Attacking the champion outside of a match doesn't just make the title yours.
Yeah. Not how that works.
No. And Adam Pearce is like, well, Braun, I'm going to need you to hand that over. And Braun's like, and what if I don't? And he's like, show me some respect. And so Adam Pearce, like, trying his best not to lean into his backhand technique, says, Braun, respectfully, I'm going to need you to hand over the championship. Respectfully. And then Braun's all like, now say please. And Adam is like turning redder and imagining all the bottles of alcohol he must now consume.
Yeah.
And he says, Braun, respectfully, I'm going to need you to hand over the World Heavyweight Championship now, please. And Braun's all like, see, that wasn't so hard. And he hands the belt to Paul Heyman. And then Paul Heyman obsequiously hands it to Adam Pearce. And then everybody sort of heads out of the ring except for Paul Heyman, who decides he wants to cut a promo. And he's all like, hey, why is everybody so mad at us? I mean, look, I watch Unreal. I know it's because we're the heels, but seriously, what did we do to deserve that? And I'm like, Paul, can you pick a lane? Like, if you know it's because it's your role, because you watch Unreal, then why do you need kayfabe justification? Like, you got to pick a lane. I'm personally going to comment here that I'm not a fan of this broken kayfabe. Like, is now the new hotness. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the behind the magic of pro wrestling is not very good, and sometimes I just want to see the magic. Grayson Waller recently made a similar comment, and I was like, cool, someone who thinks like I do. Like, part of what made the Undertaker so cool, and part of what is kind of undoing him online right now, was that Mark Calloway didn't break the kayfabe for the entirety of his career. Now, after the fact, people are like having kittens over like his show with his wife, and uh, I think part of that has to do with something else, but that's a whole different topic. The point being is that the breaking of the kayfabe is not that interesting, and it's not that interesting for you to do it in real time.
Yeah.
Like, you're like telling everybody that you're trying to get their willing suspension of disbelief to stop it, like in real time. Like, you breaking our willing suspension of disbelief, like as it's happening, is not a flex. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Stop it. So, at any rate, he finishes his promo saying, I always knew that Bronson Reed was better than Roman Reigns, et cetera, et cetera.
Wait,
And it's
no, no,
like,
no. Hold on, I'm sorry. Except no, 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 no. Allow me. Here is the sentence of the night. The sentence of that promo. He couldn't show the responsibility of leading the vision into the future, not with that bum shoulder. He's not a visionary. He's not a revolutionary. He's not the workhorse of the Shield. He's not the leader of the vision. He's a bum shoulder bitch. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I think I would have liked the pithiness of such a line if he didn't say he couldn't shoulder the responsibility and then immediately point out that that's a reference to the bum shoulder. Like, we didn't get it. Like,
Yeah.
ha ha ha, we got the joke, dude. But
I think
bum shoulder bitch was pretty kitschy though.
I did bum shoulder bitch clap 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 clap. I actually think that he did. I mean, listen, Paul usually gives us golden nuggets, right? I think he did the best he could trying to spin this story really quick that he was never backing Seth to begin with, that it was always about Bronson and Breaker. He did. I think he did what he could do. Um, and I think that he might have done like s- I guess something that we are all guilty of at one point or another. Just ran on a little bit too long or repeated something that was unnecessary to repeat. But also for me, in that whole sentence that I just read to you and everyone else, uh the thing that kills me is he's saying that Seth wasn't all those things when Seth totally was all those things. So that's the only
Yeah.
part that I'm like, he was the workhorse of the Shield. He was the leader of the Vision. I mean, he is a revolutionary.
Well,
He is a visionary. What are you talking about?
yeah,
But
all of those things are absolutely true of Seth. He also happens to be injured, which I thought was an interesting
yeah,
thing because, like, Pierce tried to make it like whatever the Bronze did, like it's their fault that he's out, and we'll never
yeah,
know just how extensive the injury is. Yeah, you will. Medical tests exists, Adam Pierce. And he was hurt from his match with Cody Rhodes. You said that, but then later you were trying to pin it on the Bronze. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah. I think
Continuity
again.
being a thing, it wasn't the most
Yeah.
continuous.
Again,
But
I think they were trying to really sell that Bronson and Breaker have gone on the deep end here and are completely drank the arrogance Kool-Aid, and they expect everyone else to do the same.
yeah. And in certain aspects, while I'm criticizing this from Heyman, One upshot to it is that Heyman's story was actually too relatable if you want him to be the heel. Like we've pointed that out. Like
Yeah.
he's not wrong. CM Punk wanted to abuse their friendship, and Roman Reigns just wanted to abuse him like everybody else. I don't know why you would take that personally, Paul, though. That's Roman. Like, you see what he does with people that are related to him by blood. Um,
Yeah.
that said, though, since he was so relatable, it made it hard to like actually in your head justify, unless you're just willing to go, they're the bad guys because I watch Unreal and they're heels. Um, s- for the purposes of
You
a
really don't like Unreal.
no, I think it's really, really stupid to try and get our willing suspension of disbelief, which is the point of pro wrestling in the first place, and then throw it in our faces and rip it away like that's some kind of flex. It's stupid as fuck. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of, to be honest.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, I'm not a
So
fan either.
and
Continue.
Triple H talking this like, well, what's the big deal? People online will then just do all of that stuff. Yeah, the audience, if they choose to talk about that stuff,
Yeah,
that's different
he's
than you undermining your own show in real time, you idiot.
I feel like he's also not considering the fact that whenever if the fans do it, we're already breaking down something we've seen. Like it's a past event. And then if we're talking about something in the future, we're making predictions. That's not the same thing as just coming right out and going, "Oh, well, this is going to happen and this is going to happen because of this." Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's
we
another
don't
thing. Yeah,
have the facts that he has.
the
Like
guy
he's
who's writing the script, revealing
right.
it, isn't the same as us predicting it when we don't, in fact, write the script.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, to come out and go, "Oh, it's crazy because they're doing the same thing." Are we? Are we? We don't know what's going to happen. You do. That's
Yeah.
why you have the show, bro. Whatever. But just on a completely different subject, I'm not too big a fan of Triple H as of late, just in general. I think he's getting way too abrasive with the fans. Now, also, it's not like the fans aren't getting abrasive with him, right? And maybe he's just giving out the same energy that he's getting, like when he goes out with his wife on vacation and people are taking pictures of him. Man's just trying to live his fucking life, and people
Yeah.
are posting it online, calling him a slob, and yeah, all right, sure, and let's see your selfie, exactly. So, but people are freaking stupid, but him, just aside from that, even just taking that out, just like his responses to things, his responses to what he would consider like negative press coverage, anything like or something that the fans don't like his response is just like who gives a shit, fuck you. And it's kind of crazy to make that kind of response to fans when you're asking them for the most amount of money to come out and see your wrestlers. Like
Oh, yeah. Yep.
it's crazy to be like, hey, fuck you, suck my dick, do what I say, or you guys are all fucking TV monkeys. You don't even fucking know. Eat shit. Come to my show. Like it's kind of crazy to like ask people to spend sometimes upwards of 3 times as much for a ticket to come
Right,
out
the
there.
down payment on a house to go to WrestleMania? Nah, I'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of it's just to me that's diabolical, my man. Like that's crazy work to be like I'm gonna be as shitty as possible and I'm gonna ask you for the most money that I've ever asked you for ever. Oh, and I'm also gonna give you subpar content. I'm gonna have my wrestlers do the bare minimum when they get in the ring, unless it's like for a championship and it's a PLE. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy to me. But I digress. Please continue what you were saying. I just had to throw that in since we were talking about my man. But
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a lot of what's going on. I mean, you had asked me about my like I really don't like Unreal, and that's why, because
yeah,
it's one thing for those of us that don't actually write this shit and know these people for real to speculate on it.
yeah,
And we do it after the show when people have
yep,
been able to take it in and give their willing suspension of disbelief and enjoy it. And then, if they want to hear what other people thought of it and get some commentary, then that's one thing. But to hear it straight from the horse's mouth in real time, like you're breaking kayfabe at the same time as you're trying to pitch us on it, which is what Heyman did in his promo here, it's very screwed up, and I'm not a fan of it. I
Yeah.
do think that people want to come see the magic show. I know that when I was young and I was a big fan of like the Undertaker, the mystique of the Undertaker is what made the Undertaker. Like
Yeah.
there were literally points where I'm like, is this son of a bitch a golem? Because he was getting up
Yep.
from shit that no
Yeah.
one should get up from. So there's a part of you that can give over that willing suspension of disbelief. Yeah, the Undertaker is in fact unfucking dead. Um, and we all know, at least I hope we do, the folks whose grasp of reality is solid know that it's just a show. We get that, right? We know that
Yeah.
it sits at the back of our mind. It isn't a revofucking to tell me that wrestling is not real, but it's fun to give in to the fantasy. Like I didn't go watch the Avengers to sit there and go, "Wow, you remember how Robert Downey Jr. had all those drug problems?" I wasn't seeing Robert Downey Jr. I was seeing Iron Man.
Oh my god.
You know
Yeah, I
what I
remember
mean?
back in the day. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
So, like, for a little while, I got to just see Iron Man and Spider Man and Captain America do their thing. Afterwards, sure, I can watch the interview with Robert Downey Jr., but while I was watching the Avengers, I was watching Iron Man. Do you get it? Does that click? Triple
Yeah.
H, do you understand? So, like doing that in real time, like same, like we so badly butchered Shinsuke Nakamura, and so much so that they bailed
Oh,
on it at this point, because you can't sell me this dark, mysterious samurai and then show him coming into the arena all beatnik poet. It
we
just
were
doesn't
so
work.
hyped for it too. We were so hyped for that heel turn that they gave him. It was so good, and then they just ruined it like within the first month.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
So, like, let them be the characters at least for the duration of the damn show. And then if people want to go spoil it for themselves, they can. I can go watch the TikTok in AEW, for instance. I can go watch the TikTok where the Hurt Syndicate actually really gets along very well with Mike Bailey and aren't, in fact, trying to hurt him.
Fuck you, Mike
If I
Bailey.
want to see that, yeah, fuck you, Mike Bailey. Or, and this might be a poor example because the guy isn't particularly over. I I agree he's not, but like you show us Rusev and he's like this crazy man who's like tons of pain and power, or theoretically that's the pitch, right? That's what we're going for. But then you show him coming to the arena and he looks as bored as he could possibly be. He looks like, did I make my car payment online? Yeah, that doesn't sell the fucking
No,
product.
no, 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 no. They go backstage and they catch Rusev coming into work, and he's wearing a three-piece suit. He's wearing glasses and he's reading Shakespeare. He's got like a pipe in his mouth, and he's
Yeah.
just he walking and he looks at the camera and he's like, "Good day," like, and we're just like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and then later he's trying to be this insane, half unintelligible, dark fallen paladin character or whatever it is he's supposed to be.
Oh god, you know
Yeah,
what he is?
so
You know what he is? He's a black hole of entertainment. That's what he is.
yeah.
He's a
So
yawn.
it that stuff just does not work. It's like you are ripping the willing suspension of disbelief out of our heads at the same time that you're asking for it, and it's creating whiplash that produces something unentertaining. Like the minute I'm into it, you take me out of it. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
already do that with your fucking shit ton of commercials and telling me about 10,000 other things that have nothing to do with Raw or WWE already.
Yep.
So it's like you're trying to give me ADHD or some shit. So, like, cut it out. Like, I don't know why WWE is so convinced that just being a good wrestling product is no longer enough. We now need to show you every star from Netflix and who we all rub elbows with at the party and flex this and flex that. Why don't you flex being the best wrestling company ever? How about that?
because then they'd be AEW. Oh!
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, shit. All right, calm down. Calm down, everybody. Calm down.
No, man. I'm still in the camp that there's room for both. I want WWE to fire on all cylinders, and when it does, it's good. So I don't know why they have seemingly so little faith in that being enough to carry the show forward.
Yeah.
Because all of their actions would bespeak that that's not the case. The fact that you need all this outside star power, or think you do anyway, and
For some
all of this
reason.
other stuff. Like you seem to think that we need to know about every college football game. I like pro wrestling. I don't care about sports ball. I'm sure there's somebody else out there that's like, but I like sports ball. Well, good for you. I'm here to watch fucking Raw. That's why I'm watching Raw. If I wanted
Yeah.
to watch sports ball, I'd watch sports ball. So I don't need all that crap. And somehow they still managed to make 3 hours of wrestling have 5 matches. It's like because you do so much other shit that has nothing to do with it. But
Yeah, there used
that's
to be so
all.
many matches back in the day. If you had 3 hours, oh my god, there'd be so many matches. Yeah, nowadays, five.
Yeah,
Five.
because on the opposite end of that, it feels like, and again, here it is, the elephant in the room, because it's the alternative that we're bouncing off of. Somehow AEW in 2 hours will show us like what feels like 7 matches. It's like how is WWE in 3 hours still just showing
You
us
know what?
five?
You know what? They'll show us maybe 6 matches versus five, but the thing is each match is it's so long. Like it's a lot more god, I don't even know how to put it, but I feel like the matches in AEW are usually longer than the ones that happen in WWE to begin with. And I feel like
Yeah,
they take more time, especially for matches that have been that have like a rivalry that's been going on for a minute. I feel like AEW takes their time with those matches. Whenever those two men get into the ring or those two competitors get into the ring, I feel like they don't rush it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they give their matches more room to breathe. And I suppose the
Yeah.
cynic could be like, well, that's because AEW doesn't have all these sponsors that they can, mention. And I'm like, cool, but I don't want to watch WWE mention all of their sponsors. Like that shit is not why I tune in.
Yeah.
Who watches a show for the commercials, save for the Super Bowl on occasion? Like I watch the show because I want to see the WWE. And all I'm saying is that their strategy of late seems to be like they want to pitch literally everything but their superstars and their product. So much so that it's like, am I watching just one big ass commercial for a bunch of other crap that occasionally has some pro wrestling on it? Like, cut that out. I also to kind of circle back to my original point, breaking of kayfabe is not interesting when it's done in real time as I'm trying to watch the show where I want to give you my willing suspension of disbelief. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. I'm really surprised that they're doing this because it's fucking dumb to try to rip the willing suspension of disbelief right back from the audience when you want them to give it to you. At least you should, head of creative. So that long digression, I digress, says Taz, was just over that. And it was relevant because I felt like I watched Paul Heyman attempt to do just exactly that in this particular promo. Like where he's like, well, look, I understand that outside the kayfabe we're the bad guys, but within the kayfabe, why? And it's like, cause you're the bad guys, like,
Yeah.
and going back into the kayfabe for just a minute, I do think that making him a little less sympathetic, because if this episode of Raw told us anything about Heyman, it's that Heyman is in fact that slimy worm
Yeah.
that is on board for whoever's winning and who will like take him to the top. And he will stab whoever that is not in the back the second they get a chance.
And they needed
Um
to do that because they hadn't proven that yet. Not with the CM Punk situation and not with the Roman situation. Paul has been right about both of those up until now. Like he's not been a bad guy to me until now.
Yeah, and now we see it. Like I'm sure it was something that everybody held in the back of their mind, but unfortunately, that whole situation, like you just mentioned, with Roman and CM Punk, was too validating to his position. Like
Yeah.
he did seem a sympathetic character because he wasn't wrong about either one of them. Now he looks like a worm who's willing to stab anyone in the back as long as whoever ends up on top is willing to take him with him, and that's good for the story. It's good.
Yeah.
Um, so moving on from that opener of Adam Pierce letting us know what's going on with the heavyweight title, Seth Rollins, and um, then Heyman coming out to try and shore up his position as a justifiable villain. Uh, critical piece of information. We also find out from Pierce, I think in that same promo, that there's going to be a battle royal to
Yes.
determine who is going to be the number one contender. Since CM Punk won his shot, he's a shoe-in. So this battle royal is going to determine anybody else who's going to fight him for the vacant title. Um, Afterwards, we head to Judgment Day's clubhouse, which is backstage hallway 356, and Raquel's trying to hype up Roxy
That's
because
why.
she's got a big match coming up against Stephanie Vaquer later in the evening. Um, and Finn is saying, well, it looks like they got their work cut out from tonight as Dominic is walking into the clubhouse and Dom's wanting to know, well, what's wrong? Is it Sacramento or something? And Finn wants to know why Dom talked to Adam Pierce last week. And he said, well, he felt it was unfair that he's the one defending his title each and every week. Um, and Finn and JD are complaining about having to deal with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee theoretically because it's Dominic's fault. And I'm like, how do you actually see it that way? Like,
I
I
yeah.
watched that exchange and that was AJ and Pierce setting Dom up. And it's obvious to anybody with eyes, but okay. Um, so Finn and JD are like legit sore about Dominic Mysterio, and they're like, "Well, you'll have to deal with your problems on your own tonight because we have our hands full with our title defense that you got us."
And I'm
And
like,
God,
okay.
God forbid you have to actually defend the belts that you're carrying. And then Finn, is responded to by Dom by saying, "What are you worried? Like, I've beaten AJ twice already. You guys can't take care of AJ and Dragon Lee." And Finn's like, "Of course we can. We'll take care of
Boo.
them, just like we take care of everyone in the tag team division." And Roxanne then comes over to wish Dom good luck, and Raquel like puts on a nun habit and is like, "Hey, enough of that. Don't look directly at Dom, because Liv, who is injured into perpetuity, might be upset about it." Um, and that ends that particular segment. But it leads us into our first match of the night, which is Judgment Day, the defending tag champions versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the WWE World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, this is how
And
I knew. This is how I knew that this was not going to be a normal fucking Monday Night Raw.
well, what were your thoughts on this match?
Well, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee work surprisingly well together. I say surprisingly because I just didn't see them as a tag team. Like I kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, and I kind of felt like what they were doing in SmackDown, where they just throw two superstars together and then call them a tag team. So I guess I wasn't giving them the benefit or the credit that they deserve, perhaps sleeping on these two individuals, as the youth say. Um, but this match, and I mean, I've seen them together. Okay, I've seen them together before in a match, and they were great. But this match, they really looked fucking good together. And AJ, I can't talk about AJ enough. Like that dude has found the fountain of youth or something, or he has taken the DNA of some 12-year-old that was just trying to live his life at the park. I don't know, but I don't know where that went. So sorry, y'all. But anyway, I don't know. But honestly, like that dude is just, I've said it before, but he's like the only one of the only wrestlers that I could think of that could do most of what they did in their 20s still in the ring. He's like that dude can just, he's fucking ridiculous. Um in the Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor always look good in the ring. But I was very happy that they had to defend the titles because I feel like we haven't seen them in the ring defending them for quite some time. Like
Yep.
like like they've been holding on to the belts and then just like they didn't know what to do with them. And I'm like, you know, you don't know what to do with them. Maybe put them in a match against other tag teams. I don't know. Should
Yeah,
give that
I'm
a
not.
try.
Yeah, they did make a point of that actually. That it's been something like 180 days since they defended them.
Yeah. And I'm not sure why WWE does this with sometimes with their champions. Like look at Julia right now. Um I think she's still a champion. I don't really fucking know. Cause I hardly ever see her. I see that little goon that's with her more than her.
Kiana James. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that bundle of no talent. I'm sorry. I don't know if she's good or not, but I know she's annoying. I know that every time I've seen her in the ring, it's basically like I'm watching oh, what do they used to call them? What do they used to call the chicks in WWE?
Divas.
Divas. Yes. It's like I'm watching a Divas match. She comes out dressed like a stripper. Or an accountant, I guess. Yeah, right. Bullshit. My fucking ass accountant. You guys know exactly what the fuck she's doing. She looks like a stripper. She doesn't look like a
Yeah,
lawyer. She looks like a
reminds
woman
me of
in
reminds
sexy
me.
gear. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say she reminds me a lot of the gimmick that Stacy Keebler had of Miss Handcock. She would come out dressed like the boss's secretary.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, so, y'all can keep that insincere bullshit about her being like, no, her character's a lawyer. No, I'm a lawyer by day. That's, she ain't no fucking lawyer. She's a street lawyer or whatever. She's handing out that pole justice. She ain't fucking, no.
Lawyer in the streets, felon in the sheets.
Yes, and just notice that neither one of us mentioned her being a wrestler. Um, I don't know if she's a wrestler or not. I think I've seen her in the ring once, and I think she got flipped upside down and then pinned. So I don't really know what the fuck she does, other than come out there and give us some subpar promos that literally sound like the beginning of a porno. So,
Yeah.
eh,
I'll say this in short about Kiana James. She got pulled up to the main roster, I want to say in the same time frame as like Carmelo and all of them. So it's been like a year and some change. And I haven't even seen her in like an good match yet.
yeah,
So whatever she is capable of in the ring, like unless you're hiding it, like I have no reason to think that she can do anything in the ring. And
yeah,
nothing about her little run here with Julia is dissuading me of that because all I ever see her do is get her ass whipped.
yeah,
So I don't know what she's capable of. And she was injured so quickly after being brought to the main roster and out for so long that now would be the chance for her to come back and make some kind of impact, and I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. Like that if
Yeah.
there is something there, show it to me. I'm willing to be shown something, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Nope. Uh, no. All I've seen is her future in OnlyFans. So at
Oh,
this
damn.
point, I know, and I just want to make it clear that I'm not talking shit about the actual individual. I'm talking shit about the character that they have chosen to put on this woman and ruin her fucking career. Because if they ain't doing nothing with her, then what is this? Like, let me tell you, I would be so livid if I were her. I'm injured. I remember her in NXT. Like, I'm fucking around when I say I haven't seen her in any matches or anything. I'm just going along with the bitch fest that I felt I needed to have about it. But I've seen her in NXT. She was reasonably okay. She was good enough to come to the main roster. I don't know what happened, but she ended up being injured. And I feel like ever since then, they've been trying to make her pay for her being injured. Like, sorry, man. She can't control her fucking body, bro. So this is what you guys have given her. And on top of that, why bring Julia here? Julia! She was dominating in NXT. Why bring her here and then literally have her do nothing?
Well, the bigger sin, I think, has been whatever they're doing with that title. Like they brought out these mid-card women's titles that they seemingly had no plan for beyond that. Like, unless they wanted the idea to fail so that the rest of us who have been recommending such a thing would shut the fuck up, which seems bad faith if you ask me. But
Yeah. Because anybody with eyes can
why?
see that it wasn't us. It's your
But
booking.
But that title that's on Julia right now has done nothing. It was a token gift to Chelsea Green at first, and then it was a token gift to Zelina Vega after that, and now it's just sitting on Julia in fucking limbo.
As if they were
Like,
like, hey, we're not going to do anything with you, but we're going to give you a belt as an apology.
right? Yeah, actually, it's like, here's your consolation belt for the fact that we don't have a storyline or any booking for you that's worth two squirts of piss.
And I
But
thought
hey, you're the champ.
originally, I thought if I were Roxy Perez coming to the main roster around about the same time as Julia, or actually at the same time as Julia, I'd be fucking pissed that she just shows up and gets a belt. Now I'm like, nah, I think I would have been all right. If
Yeah,
I were Roxy, if I were Roxy, I think I would breathe a sigh of relief because I had I known, or I'm pretty sure had Julia known that she was just gonna come to the main roster and then hold a belt that means absolutely jack shit. Her belt. You know what? Her belt is so pointless, and I'm expecting Mercedes Moné to come to WWE and take it.
uh,
That's how fucking pointless it is. Damn,
yeah,
you guys,
yeah.
that was a good one. Oof, that
That
was
was a
good.
good one. That was cold.
Bars.
Um, yeah, it's a real shame that there's not seemingly anything happening much with these titles. But turning back just real quick over to the Finn and JD
Oh
versus
yeah.
AJ and Dragon Lee.
Can I
Um,
sum up? Can I sum up what I was gonna say about it?
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm sorry, because we went on a tangent, and I think you had asked me how I felt about it. So, and I ended up talking about the individual wrestlers like I do. So, long story short, this was a great opener, a great opening match to Monday Night Raw, and very full of surprises. This match was, but overall, really fucking good. Great opener.
Yeah, I felt like this was a fantastic match as well. Dragon Lee is starting to really step up.
Yep.
Because there for a while he was looking like, where you guys
Yeah.
keep putting this guy in matches and he's only okay. But since they paired him with Styles, they've been looking good together. And JD and Finn have more talent, and I mean every word of this. They both have more talent than WWE rightly knows what to do with. Um, a statement that could probably be made about most of the roster, but really, seriously, Finn and JD are very, very good.
Yeah.
And this was not only a good match, and it was good to see Styles looking good, especially after that banger of a match they just had at Crown Jewel with
Oh,
him and John
yes.
Cena. That was a moment in time, to be sure. So they looked great here, and unsurprisingly, maybe, or maybe a little bit surprising, there was a title change here, as AJ and Dragon Lee managed to peel the belts off of Finn and JD and become the new World Tag Team Champs.
Yeah.
Um, so not only was it a good hot start to this Raw, but it was a another surprising title change. On last week's SmackDown, which with the busy weekend we hadn't had a chance to cover, we had a wonderful title change with a returning Ilya Dragunov defeating Sami Zayn in a absolute like 5-star match, easy. They
Yeah.
really went for it. And I have to say, my complaints about what's happening with the women's mid card is almost the opposite of the men's. Like the men's mid card is shining like a diamond. And I'm
Yeah.
like, can you spare some of that juice for the ladies?
Yeah.
Um, because it's been fantastic. And so there was that match that was fantastic. We've got this, shocking title change. And then here on Raw, we open the show with a surprising title change. Like surprising in the sense that there wasn't like a whole lot of buildup for this. This match seemed to jokingly be manifested by Dom complaining, and it's the match that turns AJ and Lee into new tag champs. So that
Yeah.
was pretty fantastic. And I would love to, I don't know that they ever did it on this episode, but I can't wait to see the fallout in the Judgment Day clubhouse because once again, Dom is a double champ and he's the only one with any gold in the Judgment Day. I am looking forward to Finn being super butthurt and Dom being
Yeah.
insufferable. Like that's going to be gold on the screen, I think.
Cannot wait.
So
Uh,
yeah, a really good start to this episode match wise.
I'm sure that either Finn or JD or both will blame uh Dominic for them losing their belts since they blamed him for being put into that match to begin with.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
certain Finn will for sure.
yeah. Maybe JD will have a more reasonable take on it since he has the bigger head and brain, but we shall see.
Yeah. And then after that match, uh, we are taken to the locker room. And do you want to speak to this one?
Sure. Um, Jimmy and Jay are in the back, and Jimmy asked Jay if he's supposed to acknowledge him now, basically giving him an attitude for, I mean, his prior or his previous attitude, basically how he's been vibing as of late. Um, and what Jay said to him last week wasn't cool. Jay wasn't mad at Jimmy. He was mad at himself for making the same mistake he made in Paris. And Jimmy reminds Jay that Roman Reigns is not there, or he wasn't there. And he won't be in the Battle Royale, nor is he in line for the World Heavyweight Championship. But Jimmy is. And the reason Jay lost the World Heavyweight Championship is not because he was helping people, it's because Jay stopped believing in himself. And Jay says that Jimmy may be right, but Roman may be right too. I understand that logic. Jimmy tells Jay that he better figure this out before the Battle Royal because when they get in their ring, he's going in on everybody, including Jay. And Jay's like, all right, Jimmy, we'll
Go
go
in
in
then.
then. Yeah, we'll go in then. Uh, and he just wants to make sure that him and Jimmy were good. And Jimmy says, yeet, and they shake hands. And Jay tells Jimmy that he loves him. And that was pretty much the end of that little segment. Really good to see. Um, I, I'm always a fan of their interaction. It's like one person talking to himself. Um, but I really like this little interaction. I like the fact that Jimmy said he was gonna go all in, and I'm sure now that Jay hears that, Jay is thinking, "Cool, because I'm going all in too." As it should be, because only one person can win. I mean, keep that in mind, folks.
Yep.
Only one person could win. So, yeah, you got to go in if you want to be the person that wins. You see how that works? So,
Yep.
yeah.
No, I completely agree. I really enjoyed the interaction between them here. Um, and it's funny because I don't feel like Jimmy did what he said he was going to do, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
He didn't. No.
Um, but that leads us to the second match of the night. It's Judgment Day's night to shine. It's Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Oh my God.
And let me just say, there was a portion of this that took place after Mysterio hit the ring where he took the time to talk to the crowd a little bit. And it is amazing to see. But the crowd is now, remember when the crowd would boo him the minute he had his hand on the mic so loud that he couldn't say shit?
Yeah.
And now they are unironically chanting, Dirty, dirty Dom,
Dum,
dirty, dirty
dirty
Dom.
dum. Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he is over like crazy right now.
Yeah.
So it's good to see. It's good to see that Dominic Mysterio started out super hated and then he became where the crowd loved to hate him and now they just straight love him.
Yeah.
Um, so this match was another good one, and Dominic Mysterio looks like he is there to get a hot start. Like he immediately jumps Rusev, like before Rusev can even make it to the ring, he suicide dives him and runs him into the steel steps. But Rusev being Rusev, that doesn't last long, and it isn't like almost immediately he starts pitching Dominic all around the ring. And what are your thoughts on Rusev? Because I don't feel like he's over, like with the fans.
I don't like him. I don't think he's over with the fans because he's not. Um, the character that he wants to portray is confusing. Um, I'm not really sure what he's going for. And again, I've said this before, so I'll keep it brief. Any wrestler who talks about being the strongest and the fiercest and a warrior and big dude like Brock Lesnar or oh god, what was his freaking name? Big E, big like just a big dude. Any wrestler that's big and brawny and has a finisher that's basically a hold or a kick, like a super kick, some shit like that. That's just not impressive to me. I'm not here to see a guy who's a linebacker uh do ballet. Like cool, crazy that ballet, but that's not what I'm here for. I want to see you drive someone through the floor. I want to see you pick someone up and throw them onto the commentary tables. um Darby Allen, this motherfucker. I want to see like that's what I want to see. I'm not here for you doing a high kick and apparently your mighty leg crumbles them. I'm not here for all that. um
Yeah,
so I don't like his move set. I'm not really crazy about his promos. They're usually incoherent. um yeah, I'm just I'm not interested, and I don't find him interesting at all. And
yeah,
they keep trying to make him interesting, and I feel like if they had put this much this much work into, say, Karrion Cross's career, or this much push, I think maybe he would have been a little bit You know what? Actually, no, no, it wouldn't have. Never mind, because then they would have been forcing him on us, and we wouldn't have wanted it. So, never mind. I don't.
Yeah,
I picked Karrion just so everybody knows because I feel like they're about on equal footing when it comes to wrestling style or wrestling skill. I don't. I mean, I'm not saying that Karrion was the worst wrestler, but he also wasn't like the world's best. I mean, he wasn't like
yeah,
a technical magician. He
yeah.
was
But
he was go,
I
go.
I I I agree with you. I think the problem I'm finding with Rusev is that there's nothing to latch on to.
Yeah,
Like his move set isn't particularly awe-inspiring. Him just being a big dude. Well, I mean, you've got Drew McIntyre, you've got Damian Priest, you've got Sheamus. That in and of itself isn't enough either. So there's nothing to latch on to in his move set or his in-ring work. There's nothing to latch on with his character. There's nothing to latch on to. The last time Rusev was like really, really over with the fans was Rusev Day. Um, and he's not doing that either. So his character's convoluted. His move set isn't particularly interesting. He's not doing anything that's making any kind of significant impact. And I think that's why he just is not catching on.
yeah,
That said, I thought this was an okay match between him and
yeah,
Dominic Mysterio. But let's face it, the star of this particular show was like, I mean, anybody who was looking at this match would and cared at all. Um, is looking at it to see how Dominic is going to manifest Eddie Guerrero in this match.
yeah.
And it didn't disappoint. He attempted to do what he usually does or had done in the past, which was to go and get the bell hammer and put it in his boot, and it was looking like he was going to pull it off again, except Rusev catches him out of the 619. And we're like, oh shit, Rusev's no dummy. But then Rusev tries to maybe hit him with the hammer, which makes the ref grab Rusev's hand and pull the hammer out of it. And so Rusev turns to follow the ref, and that allows Dominic Mysterio to low blow the shit out of him while the ref's
Matt
back is
Jones.
turned and get him with a roll up pin. And so once again, Dirty Dom manages to lie, cheat, and steal his way to another victory.
I'm okay with that.
Um, I am too, because let's face it, like Rusev was just the guy to lose to Dominic Mysterio in this instant. And the crowd really was here to see Dom pull a fast one and manage to hang on to a belt that, against a guy like Rusev, you're like, yeah, in a straightforward knockdown drag out, I don't see it happening. But he pulled it off, even when it looked like he, wasn't going to be able to outsmart Rusev here. He did, in fact, outsmart Rusev here. Um,
Yeah,
so it ended up being a really fun match, and again, I look forward to the insufferability of Dominic Mysterio being the double champ in the Judgment Day clubhouse now that Finn and JD have no gold, and neither do Raquel or Roxy. He's just the only guy. So that's going to be fun. Um yeah, I felt like it was a fun match to follow up with. So far we're having a good series of matches here. And we also see at the end of this match what looks like a growing feud between Penta and Rusev. Even though Penta tried to stop Mysterio from cheating, Penta ends up coming into the ring after Rusev's been beaten and hits him with a springboard tornado DDT, and then points at Dom, indicating that he's still after that Intercontinental Championship belt. But I have a strong feeling that him and Rusev are going to have to fight it out before they get to that IC belt.
yeah, I think so.
So, and I'm here for it. I
Yeah,
think they could put on a good match.
yeah. I'm not too crazy just yet with Penta's run in WWE. Um, maybe that'll change, but out of out of all the promotions that I've known Penta to be with, this is probably the most lackluster right now. Like he's not really the star of any particular show. He's just there. He's just one of the many when it comes to WWE's wrestlers. But I'm not sure what they're planning to do with him. I'm not too impressed with WWE 2025 run at all. Like it's not been too great.
I think that's fair, and I definitely think we saw more out of Penta in Lucha Underground and AEW, but a big part of that is they had fewer limitations. Like they allowed more of what the wrestler's work rate and in-ring performances contributes to the character
Yeah,
than I think he's allowed to do in WWE.
yeah,
Like I feel the same way about Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix showed up and pulled off like the Phoenix Driver in the first week and has been trying to find a finishing maneuver that he can pull off here in WWE that they'll let him do. Um, and I feel kind of the same way. Like we just noted the other day, like when's the last time we saw Penta use the sacrifice? And here lately he does the Penta driver and it's a move people are kicking out of, you know.
yeah,
So they're like, yeah, screw that Mexican destroyer. And it's like, okay, you know, but I think the limitations of how creative they're allowed to get in ring show up on several of some of these indie guys. Like we could say the same of certain things like AJ Styles. Like he hasn't been allowed to whip out what is it, Bloody Sunday, except for like once on special occasions. And
yeah,
Cody Rhodes hitting a vertebreaker only happens on a PLE. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We saw the Dude Buster or and more recently the Deadeye. You know, so we are only allowed to see these moves for very special occasions, and I don't think that's good enough in the current environment in pro wrestling right now. Like we need
yeah,
to see top, like if WWE is like we're the biggest and we're the best, then we need to see that with the in-ring work. And before anyone like explodes on like, well, those ends up in higher injuries, they don't really. If you compare and contrast, there's more wrestlers on WWE's roster in I think 2024 and 2025 that are out injured than there are on I don't know AEW, just to use again as a reflecting mirror.
yeah,
Um, so they're not getting injured at a higher rate. Um, Injury just goes with what this form of entertainment is because it's very physically demanding.
yeah,
But it's not that these moves like I'm seeing crazy stuff like moonsaults while holding a ladder doesn't result in the wrestler not being able to perform next week. You know, things like gonzo bombs and pile drivers used regularly and the wrestlers aren't out because of that. You know, and then you contrast that with like take a look at like what's got Seth out right now. He did a coast to coast and landed badly. Um, you know, and that's not a move. The AJ and Cena just ended the match in that match with a tombstone pile driver, which according to the WWE should be instant concussion and neck broken forever. It didn't. So I'm not necessarily seeing this correlation with some of the more brutal looking moves being the result of an injury. I just don't find that argument actually bears out. It because he's like Liv Morgan got injured doing a front face bump, you know, and her shoulder just exploded. So injuries are going to happen when you're doing this kind of stuff, no matter
yeah,
what. So if you're going to have these guys get injured, no matter what, you might as well put on the best in-ring performance you can possibly give to make it have been worth it, because it's going to happen no matter what.
yeah,
I mean, wrestlers could get injured coming to the ring. I mean, CM Punk broke his foot doing a stage dive. Um, Adam Cole. Um, just jumping off of the entrance ramp to ringside.
yep,
So, you know, and we so I don't think that the argument holds that much water. I think that we need to start seeing much, much more expansion of in-ring performance. And let's
Yeah.
face it, when WWE feels like, hey, we need a PLE that really pops off, then you let them do those things. So you
Yeah.
know it's what makes the match better. You know it's what makes it more interesting for the the actual in-ring action, not looking like it's a perfectly choreographed dance at all times. It has to look a little rough and it has to look like two people fighting. But again, I mean, I mentioned it earlier. It doesn't seem that WWE is really that interested in keeping your willing suspension of disbelief. Like, in fact, it seems to delight these days in ripping it right out from under you as soon as they've gotten it.
Yeah.
So, but what do I know? I'm just one of those stupid smarks that are out on the internet wrestling culture or community that Triple H told to go fuck himself. So what do I know? That's my thoughts on it, though. I do know that I, as a fan, find certain things very entertaining and certain things not, and that I can speak to.
Yep.
So I don't disagree with you. I think Penta has been hurt by not being able to show off the crazy in-ring performances that probably made him attractive to WWE in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't hire talent to just put him on the bench,
No.
quote unquote. But we're
Yeah.
not here to talk about Omos. Uh, that
Who?
brings us to yeah, exactly. That does, however, bring us to the third match of the night, which is Becky Lynch, the current women's Intercontinental Champion, versus Maxine Dupree. And I know for me, coming into this match, I was like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Because why? Like she got a win last time via a quick countout, which was because of ref, right? So I'm trying to figure out where they're going with this one. Um,
Because, like, I mean, okay, I understand that she quote unquote won that match, but she won it based on the ref cheating for her. Like
yeah, and that
we have to be okay with admitting that. Like that's how she won that. So did she really win that?
well, and it was less because the ref is like super partial to Maxine Dupree, and more because Becky Lynch keeps getting in this particular ref. What is it? Jessica Carr
Yeah.
keeps getting into her face, pissing off the ref. And then, so Becky wants to get in the ref's face, piss the ref off so bad that the ref wants to count the match against her, and then wants to complain that the refs aren't impartial. Well, of course not, because you keep getting in their damn face, pissing them off, Becky.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they're going with this one. Now, I will say it was a pleasure to get to see Maxine Dupree perform here because she's been getting better and better with each one of these matches. So maybe that was the reason. That's good. Um, and she had there was a point in the match where she had a really slick counter. I want to say out of an armbar right into a angle lock. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that was incredibly technical, Maxine. Are you holding back? Because I think you should show
Yeah.
out. But it was good. It was a really good fight between these two. But once again, Becky is getting all into Jessica Carr's face. And I'm starting to think that, is the point of this to put over Maxine Dupree, or is the point of this to try and get Jessica Carr to become a performer? Because if Becky keeps getting into Jessica's face, I got a feeling it's going to get physical at some point, and then we're going to end up
Yeah.
with a match between Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch. Um, and I mean, it's possible that two things can be true at the same time. It could be that they're servicing both of those things. We're trying to get Maxine Dupree over, and we're trying to get Jessica Carr to become a performer. Because it's my understanding, this is me breaking the kayfabe, Triple H. It's my understanding that Jessica Carr wants to become a performer, so maybe they're moving in that direction. And so cool on both fronts. I'm just thinking with this particular match, I'm kind of hoping that we're leading to Maxine Dupree actually getting a win, like a legitimate win against Becky
Yeah.
Lynch. Otherwise it's going to feel very flat. Like you gave us this build up, this kind of rivalry that you put Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree in that Jessica Carr kind of sits in the middle of somehow. Although Jessica Carr's interference was not that super direct in this one, not like the last one where it was her fast count that got Maxine the win.
Yeah.
This ended up ending in a disqualification because Becky Lynch said, "Well, I'm sick of this crap," and just overtly hits Maxine Dupree with the belt and then delivers a beatdown to her. And Jessica Carr, her her relationship with Becky was told more through the story of Becky getting in her face every opportunity, and we could
Every
hear
opportunity.
Jessica Carr saying, "Becky, get out of my face," opponent, get out of my face. So there was a lot of tension building between those two. I felt like Becky was more concerned with building tension between her and Jessica Carr than what she was doing with Maxine Dupree. But Maxine Dupree was bringing her A
Yeah.
game and put Becky in several situations where she got some very close near falls. So I get why Becky jumped out of the ring and just clobbered her with the IC belt to get the DQ. So I'm really curious. Like they've done a good job here making me curious where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And I guess my only apprehension is that I hope it's not a disappointing road to nowhere. Um, but it would be interesting to see like Maxine Dupree catch a victory and then Becky Lynch goes absolutely ape shit because in every single one of these matches Jessica Carr has been the common denominator, and so she gets mad at Jessica Carr thinking this ref has had it out for her and she's the only reason that she lost. And so now there's this fight between her and Jessica Carr while Maxine Dupree excuse me, goes on to then kind of have a run with the IC belt that is actually a mid run. And that could be pretty interesting. But
Yeah.
that is just me speculating on the possible direction. Speculating. In other words, I don't write this script. I'm not actually the head of creative. So this is me making my best guess. So if it turns out right, hey, kudos to me. So I'm curious to see where it goes. Now I know I monopolized a lot of that. Please, what were your thoughts on this match?
I pretty much I'm gonna shadow everything that you said here. Uh, I feel like there is an underlining story that might be happening here with Jessica and Becky, and I'm here for it. And I can't really harp on Becky's title run because I feel like she might be doing the same thing that Sammy was doing, just in a different, just kind of a slightly different way, from the viewpoint of a heel, perhaps. Um, so I have to give her credit there. And if she's
Yeah, yeah,
giving
I agree.
Maxine, yeah, and if she's giving Maxine Dupree the time of day here, I'm happy because it definitely seems like it was worth it. Maxine has looked not just comparable, but she's looked viable. She's looked like she could,
Credible.
yeah, credible. She looks like she could go in the ring, like she's been holding out on us or some shit. Uh, and I'm very. I mean, I've always thought that she was a knockout, but now I'm
Yeah.
going all in on her skill here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. She's not just a hot body in the ring. She actually has some talent.
yeah, I am very happy to see what I have seen from her in the ring as of late. We can keep that going. If you guys want to have a feud here that you want to keep going for a little bit, I am a-okay with that. But I actually want to see her, um because I mean at this point I feel like she can and deserves to get a clean win. So I'd like to see that. I don't know about putting the belt on her like right now, but I definitely want to see a clean, decent, the ref not involved, uh, win from her, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about getting that belt. As far as uh, as far as Becky and Jessica is concerned, um, I I mean, I think you're right. I honestly think you're right. I think we're going somewhere with that. If not, then maybe Becky genuinely doesn't like this ref, and if that's the case, that's even crazier. That I would even
Yeah,
I
well,
would want even more. I would want even more information about that
yeah.
if that were the case.
Well,
Um,
when I was given my speculations, it's a combination of what I feel that they're showing us, coupled with what I, in my fantasy booking brain, think
yeah,
would be the coolest possible way that this could play out. And so in my imagination, I think this leads to a feud where Jessica Carr gets to step in the ring with Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch holds it against Carr that she ends up losing to Dupree. And then Dupree gets to have a title run, an actual mid-card usage of the Intercontinental Championship for the women, while Becky has a feud and gets to, you know, because I agree with you. Like Becky in her heel way is trying to bring up, some of the other talent. Um, you know, kayfabe aside for a second, yes, that's what she's doing.
yeah,
Um, and I think she's doing a good job, like you said, from a heel perspective of it, right? Not
yeah,
like Sammy just being overt with it, like I open challenge for the new guys to give them an opportunity. She is literally coming at it as a heel. So I think if I'm assuming all of that, then I think I gave what is a combination of fantasy booking coupled with what I feel like we're seeing play out. I just don't know for sure if that's the direction they're going to go with it. Thus, it's a prediction.
yeah.
Um, it's a prediction, not a spoiler.
Yeah. I mean, we will see. Honestly, I hope that they go somewhere with that because it's just so blatant. It's so obvious. Again, unless they really don't like each other, or Becky doesn't like her, then I'm gonna have to hear about that backstage. But I feel like if that were the case, there'd be so many YouTube channels doing bits about that right now.
Yeah, I
Right?
don't think there's any real heat between Becky and Jessica. If anything, I think this is a three-way dance where Becky is trying to use her clout and her IC belt to pull up maybe two talents at once. And if
Yeah.
so, that's fucking brilliant and a great use of it and well booked. I'm just curious to see where you're going with it. Um, and I could see some cool ways that it would play out, and I hope it does.
Yeah.
Again, better to be satisfying than surprising in some cases. In almost all of them, actually, if it's going to be a non sequitur surprise. Like just before Becky Lynch loses, out comes The Rock and he stops the match and says, Becky, I want your soul. Some stupid shit like that.
Oh Lord, boo and boo. Yeah, I blame The Rock for this year. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's let's continue with this. But
Yeah,
Rock,
this just in. Rock is John Cena's final opponent.
ugh, ugh, that just made my
No.
spirit tired.
No, I don't think that will happen. I think I saw that on the internet that that might be a thing, and I was like, no, please no. Um,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
an excellent third match as well. Like I enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed getting to see Dupree actually show off some in-ring chops. She's really starting to look put together in there.
yeah.
Um, she can still, when she's selling moves, she still looks like a lanky baby deer, but that's actually kind of good. And I've
Her
said it
kip
before, I'll
ups
say it
are
again.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Maxine Dupree has possibly the best kip up in the entire business. Like she manages to land solidly on her feet and then slowly rise up like she is a vampire coming out of her coffin. It is simultaneously impressive and slightly creepy. Like what supernatural force allowed you to do this? Where's the wires? She has the coolest kip up in the game.
Yeah. I agree. Hey.
So that was pretty fantastic. It was another fun match. I mean, it wasn't fantastic to see Maxine Dupree get beat down with the belt, but this is another victory under her belt. First by count out, now by disqualification. So I'm hoping that's eventually leading to a clean victory for Maxine Dupree, one that Becky maybe challenges because, you know, Jessica Carr's played favorites in the past. So that could be interesting. I think we'll know where it's going if the next time they meet up, Jessica Carr happens to also be the ref.
Yeah.
Um, but we shall
Oh,
see.
just so you know, about Becky Lynch and Jessica Carr. Uh, remember that Carr also obfuscated Lynch's tap out loss to AJ Lee at WrestlePalooza. So,
Oh man! So the stage is set for her to lay out this timeline of Jessica Carr screwing her over. That's
oh,
going to be great.
oh, and then Jessica Carr has fired back on social media. And she said it's
Oh,
wild. It's wild that someone keeps talking about me when all they've been doing is tapping out, getting counted out, and taking the easy way out by getting disqualified. But I'm the problem?
oh snap! Shots fired.
Ooh, shot pew 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 pew
All
pew
right,
pew.
yeah. So I'm definitely seeing a Jessica Carr confrontation. So I could see that being a way
Yeah.
forward that Maxine Dupree ends up with the IC belt and Jessica Carr ends up in a battle with Becky Lynch. Um, and hopefully it's the right kind of battle for WWE where it takes place in the ring, not in the courts of law. That's never fun. That's not a cool storyline. Um,
Not a cool
but
story,
yeah,
bro.
okay. So I think they've painted that picture. Now, again, just because we can see where you're going, that just means that your story is solid and it is sequitur, not non sequitur. So don't change it just to be different.
Yeah.
Keep telling a solid story that pays off as it should, and you'll be golden.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just trying to fill out fans' interest in that, or see if anybody's picking up on it or something. So, if that's the case, this is favorable. Like, I would love to see this. I'd love to see what happens in the ring. Like, let's go. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great stuff. That's good storytelling. You're dropping the breadcrumbs that Becky Lynch can then point back to and say, "Look, this ref has had it out for me from day one." And there you go. It'd be fantastic. It'll play out really well. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
Um so was there anything else that you wanted to speak to regarding that match before we move forward?
Nope, that was it. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. We then are taken to a Kabuki Warriors promo following that match. And the Kabuki Warriors did so well here, so well. I
Yeah.
think while Asuka was out, like she was working her butt off, both in the gym, but also locking down her English.
Yeah.
And her and Kairi Sane really deliver a killer promo here
Yeah.
where Asuka says Rhea Ripley got exactly what she deserved last week. And she says, Rhea, I want you to remember that it was me that ruined your trip home. The Kabuki Warriors broke Io Sky's spirit, and then we broke your face. And I'm like, oh God, ice cold. For those not necessarily aware, before they
Uh,
left out of there, Rhea ended up having what did you tell me? Io Sky gets thrown at her, and
yeah.
Io's
Yeah.
knee hits her in the face or something.
Yeah. So she got injured during a house show, or something like that. It wasn't one that was aired, but it was a tag team match that she was having with Io Sky, and I'm trying to remember who else was in that match. I can't remember who they were going against.
Was it the
Um,
Kabuki Warriors?
no, well, actually, yeah, it might have been. It might have been. If I'll check it out and see if I could get that information. Just give me a second. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. But it was a house show, and literally someone got yeeted at Rhea, and Rhea was laying like she was on the mat, so that person landed on top of her and got her right in the fucking face.
Yeah, I did see the pictures of the aftermath, where Rhea showed it off, and she got a nice little gash, like right on the side of her nose.
Yeah.
And so she's got a face injury again. So to Rhea Ripley, hey, how about, I mean, you got a pretty face. How about you quit trying to shatter it? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Um, no, I know she probably didn't intend for that to happen, but unfortunately, Rhea's face keeps getting smashed. Um, but Asuka
Oh,
continues. Sorry,
here
go
we
ahead.
go. Here we go. Just briefly, Rhea Ripley suffered a nose injury during a fatal four-way match at the WWE Japan Super Show on October 18th. The injury occurred after a rough spot involving Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. So it was Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Stephanie Vaquer battling for the WWE Women's World Championship. I don't, yeah, crazy. But during a high impact exchange, Ripley was struck in the face reportedly while catching Io Sky as she was tossed over the top rope.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, so in the kayfabe, the Kabuki Warriors are taking credit for that.
Right.
Um, and she goes on to say, you know, Rhea, you tore our family apart, so you have to pay. Kyrie, last week you finally showed me what I've wanted to see. You showed me how ruthless you can be. And that's exactly what the Kabuki Warriors are going to be. We've taken care of Io and Rhea. We need a new challenge. We need gold around our waists. This is a warning to the entire tag team division. The Kabuki Warriors are back. And Asuka nailed that promo largely in English.
Yeah.
And she killed it. And it was badass. Like I'm like, bring it, talk yo shit. So I was hyped for that promo. I was really pleased with it. They did a great job.
Yeah, I agree.
And then after that, we are taken to the outside of Adam Pierce's office where Paul Heyman is standing there impatiently. And Pierce finally opens the door and sarcastically says, "You been out here? I've been waiting for you for like 45 minutes." And Heyman's just looking nonplussed. And he says, Pierce says, "Yeah, I had to change a graphic tonight." And Heyman's like, "Oh, your rough night was involving changing a graphic. Oh, boo-hoo." And he said, "Well, it's relevant to you because the graphic was me changing that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are officially out of tonight's Battle Royal." And Heyman's like, "Wait, what?" And Pierce says, "Yeah, they're out. And but maybe there's a way that they could get back in. All you have to do is ask real nice and say please." To which Heyman then totally changes his tack to, you know, suck up and becomes fully obsequious. And he says, "Mr. Pierce, sir, uh, I don't have it word for word, but it was something along the lines, in your infinite wisdom as the GM of WWE RAW, would you please take into your kind consideration to put the bronze back in the battle royal, please?" Um, and Pierce says, "Oh, see, that wasn't so hard, right?" And Heyman says, "No, it wasn't hard at all. It was actually a real joy doing business with you." And Pierce says, "Well, good." And no. And then he slams the door in Heyman's face. And Heyman turns around to find himself in an even worse situation because a fuming Becky Lynch is standing there staring daggers through him. And Heyman says, Becky, I understand how you must feel right now. Look, I had no choice in the matter. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed conspired against Seth Rollins because of his injured shoulder. And hey, as a matter of fact, I put myself between them trying to spare your husband, which was a complete lie. He didn't. Um,
Yeah.
and he says, "But hey, Becky, you're the breadwinner. It's about surviving the day, right? We survived last week. Unfortunately, Seth didn't. But there is a vision that includes you, Becky. You could have a hot husband at home and an adorable oracle on the road." And Becky's like grabs hold of his lapel, or it was either the lapel or the tie, but it was a great like grab around the neck.
Yeah.
And she says, Heyman, you penguin faced prick. I've never liked you. I've never trusted you. And neither did my husband. Seth only used you because he knew you would turn on him. He was just surprised that it took you this long. But don't worry. When Seth comes back, he's not going to hurt you, Paul. But he's going to kill the next Nepo baby that you latch on to. And this was a fantastic piece of promo work from Becky Lynch, who I'm glad to see giving fantastic promo work. Like we have been saying over the past couple of weeks that we're tired of Becky's repetitive shtick about, I'm not the only one saying it. Sports Illustrated, it just gets old because it's just repetitive at this point.
Yeah.
So tonight she came out and she had her match, didn't say a fucking word. She just wrestled her ass off. And here she cut just a vicious promo against Heyman, which was in the right tone that you would think she would have
Yeah.
towards the folks that betrayed her husband. Um, it was good. This was very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think promo of the night.
Yeah, it was very, very good. This exchange here. But that leads us into our fourth match of the night, which is Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxy Perez with Raquel Rodriguez. And I don't think this was a title match. This was like maybe a grudge match
I think
because
it was a grudge match. Yeah.
Roxy's been talking mad smoke about like how she was the last person to pin Io or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she
Um,
she basically got into Stephanie's face last week and was like, blah blah blah, and all I remember is Stephanie Vaquera basically was like, don't talk about it, be about it, like get into the ring about
yeah,
it. And Roxy was like, maybe I will, and here we are.
yeah.
And so
So
eh, this was the squeakiest match of the night. This
squeakiest.
was, yeah, Roxanne had all
Oh,
the high pitched yells, all the high pitched squeaks. Um,
yes, she has a hilarious little high pitched scream that she does whenever she's getting thrown or tossed or something happens to her. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
yeah. If she is getting yeeted, then you get the high pitched yelp. If she's trying to pin you after she's done a move to you and you kick out of that, then you're gonna get the high pitched scream of how freaking dare they. It's highly amusing. Highly amusing. That's
Very.
and I know you guys are like, really? That's all you have to say about this match? No, there's other stuff like you know stuff. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Stephanie, and Roxanne, I think work, and I say this a lot about wrestlers, but I think they work real, pretty good together. Um, Stephanie is starting to grow on me. I'll say that. It's not that I didn't like her. It's just that I didn't want her defined by one move. And I think I think she's done a great job of not being defined by just that move.
What?
Now she's being defined as Satan's love doll or some shit. I don't know.
You mean Devil's Kiss, Stephanie? Devil's Kiss, Vaquer? Devil's Kiss is defined by one move?
uh, you see, you guys see what I have to, what I, do you see my struggle? No.
Hey,
Um,
I was getting your back. I was trying to emphasize your point.
yes, but no, she's not. She's not really like. Okay, people love that move, yes, and it's very popular. But whenever I think of her, for me, that's not like one of the. That's not the first thing that comes to my mind. I know that she does that move, but it's not one of the first things that pops into my brain hole. Um, but and I'm thankful for that because I can think of her as like much more than just that, or the demonic symbolism that people are are finding, surprisingly finding with her with her in-ring gear or her tattoo or her persona. Um this match was actually probably one of the better ones I've seen between these two because I've seen like other interaction with them. I think this is probably one of the best. I can't remember. I can't remember if Raquel intervened in this match or not, or if it was like a after the match type of thing.
Oh,
Um,
she absolutely intervened. There was a point where
she,
Vekur was like thrown kind of to the middle rope, and Roxy moved off with the ref to the other side. That Rodriguez just
oh,
straight
you're
clobbered
right.
her.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that now. But no, this was I don't think there were any real weak matches this episode of Raw. So this is like no exception. The ladies have been bringing it as of late, and this was a one of many great matches Monday night.
Yeah, I agree. This was a solid match between these two, and I tend to think like Vakur is solid and improving, right? Like for the longest time, all you heard about her was the Devil's Kiss, right? I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And the only thing we knew was other than that, was the SVB. And it seems like she's debuted like two additional finishing or signature moves because she's doing this butterfly lung blower to finish people off,
yeah.
which
Oh yeah,
unfortunately I think the commentary team needs like to get an update on because they keep calling that the SVB as well, and it's
yeah,
not. One is like a package backbreaker, which is the SVB. It starts as a package pile driver position and goes into a backbreaker. The other one is a butterfly lung blower. They're two very freaking different moves that look nothing alike, and I don't know why the commentary team is not on the page here. And then she's also debuted her version of the spiral tap, which she does from like a moonsault position, whereas I think the original spiral tap might be forward facing when it launches. And it's just this beautiful corkscrewing moonsault, and it's fantastic.
yeah.
And so she's really kind of expanded her playbook. So she is not one move Vekur. Like she's
No,
not. That
no.
might be the move that most, especially the fellas, like, but it's not her only, tool in the toolkit. She really
Yeah,
has been bringing it out, and I love her. I don't know if she's given it a catchy name, so I'll just say it's her variation of the spiral tap, but that looks outstanding. It's a great top rope finish,
yeah,
and the butterfly lung blower is just gross looking. Like it's really nasty looking. I think both of those are actually, in my opinion, more impressive than the Stephanie Vaquer bomb, which is the most creatively named finisher I've ever heard. Um, but I mean, I guess you could make that same judgment of the RKO, which is just Randy Orton's initials.
yeah,
Um, but as moves go, I'm more impressed by both her variant spiral tap and the butterfly lung blower. Those look just gruesome in my opinion.
yeah, for
And
sure.
so Vakur is solid. And I think I get where you were coming from, like winning you over is that we heard all this hype about her,
Yeah,
but we wanted to see it. And now we're seeing it and we're like, yeah, no, no, she is as good as they say they are. That said, there was a bit of a botch, but it happens later. Um, and it's not the worst thing in the world. It could happen to anybody. But Vakur looks good. Roxy Perez is a great performer. She's getting better every time I see her. Her in-ring work improves. She's got that cartwheel, like guillotine knee drop that she does to kneeling opponents that I think looks nasty. I'm surprised that's not her finisher because in my opinion, again, I think that looks more brutal than Pop Rocks do. And
yeah,
Pop Rocks is like the girl version of the spear. It's every other female wrestler's freaking finishing maneuver these days, it feels like. Um, so having something as unique as that like cartwheel like knee drop would definitely make her stand out more than just one more person using a sunset flip power bomb, or the not terribly different, only slightly different Mexican destroyer. um that's my little piece of advice. As catchy as pop rock sounds, you have actually better moves in your arsenal that outperform what is your finisher. um that said, both these girls looked really, really good, and despite interference from Raquel Rodriguez, Stephanie McCurry is able to secure the win against Roxy. Now, afterwards, the Judgment Day do what the Judgment Day do, and they initiate a 2-on-1 beatdown, which we're like, well, who does Vaquera even know that would come help her out? And, Roxy and Raquel aren't in any kind of feud with anybody that would help because they just don't like them. Well, surprisingly, we find out in that moment that apparently Stephanie McCurr and Nikki Bella have been becoming really good friends backstage. So Nikki Bella comes out wearing aluminum foil for pants. Um, you even asked that. Like, she came out to the ring and you're like, what is she wearing? And I said, aluminum foil. Because she's in these shiny metal pants. Um,
Oh,
and Nikki starts trying to fight him, but eventually she gets overcome. But they manage to circle it back when Vaquer gets back into the picture. And this is where the minor botch occurs, is that Vaquer tries to do a springboard crossbody and her foot slips. Like when she goes to press off the top rope, her foot slips. And so it's not the best looking one. And it looks like Vaquer actually kind of was limping afterwards. So I hope it was like not a big foot injury. Maybe it just hurt in the moment, and so she was just a little limpy, so she had to walk it off. But
yeah.
overall, a really good match, and it builds into this storyline where apparently Nikki Bella and Stephanie McCurr are friends. And the first thing I think of is when the champ starts to have friends that come out of nowhere, that's going to be their next biggest rival. Am I alone in that, or do you think of the same
No,
thought?
no, you're right. But that's exactly why when I saw her come out, I was like, but why? Um, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
But
not I feel like Stephanie. There's nothing wrong with Nikki. Okay, there's nothing wrong with her. So shut up, everybody. I'm just saying. When I think of Nikki, I think there are, I think, better opponents for her. Hell, Becky Lynch would be a better opponent. I think. Rhea Ripley, but I know Rhea's face is falling off right now. Um, Yeah, so many. But, what do I know?
yeah, I don't know if the crowd would pop harder for Stephanie and Rhea being allies or enemies. But then again, I don't know if the crowd would pop harder to see them fight or make out. So what do I know?
Oh, Lord. they're,
I
they're like
mean,
both.
am I wrong? Um, so after that match, another good one, by the way. I know I mentioned that little botch, but that's just because initially I was like, oh no, did Stephanie McCurr actually hurt herself? But it looks like she, no pun intended, walked it off.
Yeah.
Um, so fortunately, it doesn't look like it. And otherwise, it was a really solid match between Perez and Vaquer. So I'm not going to count that against it, really. Um, Following that, we are taken backstage where Lyra was chatting with Adam Pierce and Bailey interrupted, and Adam Pierce must have had a rough night because he didn't backhand either of them. He just leaves.
Mm.
And Bailey is ecstatic over the victory they had the previous week. And she says she knows Lyra's birthday is coming up soon and she's got a surprise for her. And Lyra's like, oh, I don't know about all that. Like that. And
Lyra's hilarious, by the way.
she's like, I'd really rather
Hilarious.
know what that surprise is right now. And she says, silly, you'll have to wait, or it wouldn't be a good surprise. And Lyra's just like, I don't know. This seems bad. I don't love this. And we are left with Lyra making like the best concerned face ever. Because she's legit worried that Bailey's going, like, her surprise could either be really, really nice, or her surprise could be that she's going to drop a car on Lyra or something, you know?
Yeah.
Um, After that, we head to the Vision's locker room where Braun Breaker is perplexed because the Steiner math isn't adding up. Sorry. No, he's puzzled about what's happening tonight. He says, Paul, make it make sense. We walked into the arena with the World Heavyweight Championship, and now not only did we give up that championship, we're out of the Battle Royal. And Paul tells him a story about Brock Lesnar being a rookie in 2002, didn't beat everybody on his first night, even though he could have. But he listened to Heyman, and 5 months later, he defeated The Rock at SummerSlam for the undisputed WWE Championship. And he says back in 2012, there was a pain in the ass rebel who was going to be thrown out of the company despite being the champion for 100 days. And that pain in the ass was CM Punk, to no one's shock. And he said, but he listened to Paul and he got 434 days out of that title reign. How many WrestleMania events did the big dog get? Who remembers the big dog? Who even liked the big dog? But Roman, under my watchful eye, becomes the tribal chief, and he has the longest title reign in the modern era. So it's not about who you can slaughter, it's about the backstage maneuverings and politics that go along with it. If they want to see the vision of the future of the WWE, they should look in the mirror. Long story short, he's trying to convey to him that, you know, their impatience is not going to be the right path. You know, maneuver, strike when you can, and it'll be all the sweeter. And I think when they were leaving, or when Paul left the scene, we were left with the Bronze talking to each other. And I had a little trouble hearing what Braun Breaker was saying. I think he told me it was something like, I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And
And then Bronson says me too. Or yeah, me too. And I can't remember the second thing that
yeah, I can't remember either. But both of them seemed pretty well pleased at that point in time with what Paul Heyman said to them. So there's not dissension amongst those three, at least not overtly. And then the last little segment before we get to the final match of the night, we see Nikki and Stephanie walking through the hallway. And you hear Nikki explaining to Stephanie that she wasn't going to let two sore losers take advantage of her. And Nikki stops to tell Stephanie, you know, as a former champ myself, she's really proud of Stephanie and her meteoric rise, and that they haven't known each other for long, but they've really become great friends over the past little while since they have been in the locker room together. And that Stephanie's taking the division to a whole nother level. She reminds Stephanie that being the women's world champion paints a huge target on your back, and that anyone at any time could be coming for him. And it was something along those lines that made me think, yeah, Nikki, you're part of that group of anyone, aren't you?
yeah.
Hmm? You know, and I think Nikki went on to say she wishes somebody had her back during those title reigns. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, if only you had someone like a twin
Like a
named
twin.
Bree that the WWE would like to pretend doesn't exist to watch your back. But I digress. Uh, and Nikki says she's pretty sure that the Judgment Day is now a couple of new enemies. And Stephanie says, well, you know, Nikki, I owe you. And, you know, since you had my back, I have yours. And then they hug and we yelled, make out. And that was the end of the session or the segment, rather.
The
But
session.
that led us into the fifth match, which is the number one contenders battle royal for the World Heavyweight Championship. And as I feel I have once again monopolized the talkie time, what did you think of this battle royal?
I thought that it was given the quickness by which they had to put this thing together. And I mean there were quite a few men in this match. Um I think we had LA Knight, Jay, and Jimmy Uso, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, Sheamus, Penta, Rusev, Ivar, Grayson Waller, Kofi Kingston, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Akira Tozawa, Otis, and El Grande Americano. So we had a huge group of guys, and CM Punk joined the commentary table for the match. Now I'm not gonna go down the list of who
That's a lot
eliminated.
of dudes.
It's a lot of dudes. That's a lot of dudes. I'm not gonna go down the list of who eliminated who. The ending is probably the most important here. But I will say that who you thought was gonna eliminate someone did. Um, like you knew that Sheamus and Rusev were gonna go in on each other, but then you knew Penta was gonna go in on Rusev, and Rusev was gonna have to respond to that. So that kind of stuff played into it. Dominic Mysterio just kind of sneaked around as much as he could. In fact, he got eliminated at one point, and then because the ref didn't see it, none of the refs saw it. He just got back into the fucking match, which I thought absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that
Um,
was great.
yeah, so good. I thought for as quickly as quick as they had to put this thing together with all these wrestlers, um, the professionalism shown bright in the ring. I thought this was a really good excuse me, really good match, really good battle royal. Uh Very entertaining and full of all kinds of story. Throughout this entire match, there were times when and remember, Jay said that he was going to go all in this match, right? Which to me and I think to Josh and probably to anyone else who saw this, meant that it was no holds bar, like he wasn't gonna no pity for nobody, it's him
Yeah,
versus everybody else.
when it was
um
Jimmy who said that to
I'm
Jay.
sorry, yeah, Jimmy said that, and yet Jimmy spent a lot of his time saving Jay almost at every freaking turn.
Yep.
Every chance he got, like literally like every chance he got, my man was out here saving Jay from something. And I'm like, you said those words, but I don't think they meant what you thought they mean. Because you are doing the opposite of that. So ultimately when we get to the end of the match, and I think uh we had LA Knight, Jimmy and Jay, Dominic Mysterio. Um and we end up getting, I think LA Knight gets eliminated by Jay, and then Jimmy and Dominic are in a somewhat of a scuffle.
Mm-mm.
No, is it the other way around?
No, see what had happened was AJ Styles had gone in heavy on Jay, and it looked
Right.
like AJ was going to eliminate Jay, and that's when Jimmy made the final save of Jay. And then Jimmy gets up and eliminates AJ Styles. And then LA Knight enters the scene, and Jimmy looks like he's trying to eliminate LA Knight, and they both end up kind of hanging in the ropes because both men are trying to eliminate each other.
Oh,
And that's
that's
when
right. And
that's
yeah,
when Jay
that's when Jay
strikes.
comes and just yeets both of them. Yeets both of them over the ropes, and
Yep.
eliminates his brother and LA Knight. And then Dominic comes at him. He just yeets him out.
Yeah.
Um,
But kudos to Dominic for being the like second to last man in the ring. Holy
don't
crap.
you give him that credit. He was already out.
Hey, if the ref didn't see it, it doesn't count. I
All
mean,
right. All right. All right.
he can't pull off the lie and cheat and steal if we're going to hold it against him when he succeeds at it.
All right. All right. All right. But
But
no,
yeah, you're right.
seriously.
Jay made short work of him.
Yeah. But honestly, and Jimmy was very upset about that. And I did not get why. I like he said he was going all in, and all he did was go all in on helping his brother. Um,
Yeah, if
so even with that, what that tells me now, even now, he is not ready to be a singles champion.
well, it tells me that he's not ready to throw everything that he values except that championship out the window. Because if I had to assume, and I have to, because again, I don't write the script. Um, my assumption would be that Jimmy was hoping that him and Jay would help each other become the last two men and then fight it out amongst themselves. Jay apparently didn't get that memo. All he heard was what Jimmy told him, which is, I'm going to go all in on everybody, including you. And then he didn't. So I think that's kind of on Jimmy, even though everybody in the world will be like, that was a dick move, Jay.
Nah, it wasn't a dick move. Nah, it was a wrestling match where there could be only one winner.
Yep.
And the reason that I say that tells me that Jimmy isn't ready to be a singles champion is because, like, in this case, he couldn't, you just said it. Um, but he can't separate, like a family tie or something that he cares about to, like, it's a match. It is a match. That's like you weren't disowning anyone. You weren't trying to murder anybody. It's a competitive
Yeah.
bout
Hey,
with,
and if Jimmy had decided to finish Jay off instead of saving him all those times that Jay was in trouble, um, it's not like he didn't tell you in advance. Like he even gave you fair warning in advance.
yeah.
But Jimmy didn't go that route.
Yeah. So I don't I just I feel because of that, um it's not it's not Jay's fault. Jay had a match where somebody needed to win, and he wanted to win.
Yep.
Like everybody else should have wanted when they got in there, including
Yep.
Jimmy. But he didn't want to win more than he wanted to help. Boy, if that's the position you want to put yourself in, if you want to be the help, cool. Your brother doesn't. I
Yep.
mean, and
That's true.
that's just that. So yeah, overall though, this was a great match full of some storytelling, all kinds of in-ring dramas, uh, it freaking apron freakouts. It
Yeah.
was good. Like it was good.
Yeah. I fully agree. I I think aside from like some of the parts that I just interjected, that my take is exactly the same as yours. Um, I'm not sure what Jimmy was expecting here. Um, Again, if I had to guess, I would have to say that he was hoping it would be him and his brother as the last two men, and then they would just have a singles contest. Jay didn't see it that way. Jay saw it as, I want to win this, and here's my opportunity. Boom.
Yeah,
And you know, to be fair, Jimmy said he was going all in on Jay, and so Jay took him at face value. And so if Jimmy's heard about that, like, you know, I I don't see a good argument for it.
yeah,
It's like Jay played by the rules that you indicated you were playing by when you went into the match. Everybody was going in there, every man for themselves.
Yep.
Now, you didn't play that way. You didn't do what you said you were going to do, but Jay did.
Yeah.
So you can be mad at him about it, but you're not justified in it.
No.
At least that's my take on it, and I think yours too, from what I'm
Yep.
hearing.
It is
Um,
absolutely.
but I can only reiterate that I fully agree with you that for a number one contenders battle royal that probably had to manifest in short order given Seth Rollins' injury, this was a well produced battle royal.
Yeah.
I mean, really
Absolutely.
good. They got the story beat in with Dominic Mysterio getting eliminated, but outside of the eye line of the referees, and they managed to hit the major story beat of Jay eliminating both LA Knight and Jimmy. And that's on top of the fact that they hit all of the major rivalries that were between all the different players in in this battle royal. It was really well done. Um, so I have to give them a lot of credit there. Same as you.
Yeah.
And near the end of this match, Jimmy is mean mugging Jay, who's standing victorious in the ring. And that quickly comes to a halt because CM Punk, who was on commentary, which, CM Punk on commentary did not immediately give me stage four cancer. So kudos. He jumps into the ring and has a stare down with CM Punk, or rather with Jey Uso, and that's how we go off the air. Is those two men doing the stare down, and I say this with all the love in the world for Jey Uso, but that little happy clappy thing he was doing was like not working for me. I don't know about you.
Um. I. I mean. I just. I don't know. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me, but I was like, what are you clapping for? Like, what?
Yeah, it just seemed awkward a bit, maybe. Um, but not a big enough deal to really undermine what was going on there.
Yeah.
So the next big rivalry for the heavyweight championship will be Jey Uso versus CM Punk. Um, and to that end, who do you think wins?
Oh, CM Punk.
You think for sure CM Punk?
I think absolutely for sure CM Punk is gonna win. And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I tend to think you might be right because CM Punk has been chasing that championship and it got yanked out from under him with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe. And
And the
then
only yeah.
shortly after that, maybe the Vision beats Punk to death for it. I don't know. Um, but I do
Yeah,
think you're
that.
you're probably right. I do think they're going to put the strap on CM Punk. I don't know how long it will stay there, but I do think that's probably where it's headed. And I mean, he's going to have the Vision, Jey Uso, and LA Knight all coming after him. So
Yep.
who knows? Maybe we're in for a real treat of World Heavyweight Championship title mobility. I don't know. Like maybe Punk and LA Knight and Jay like swing it back and forth between them in the Vision like for a little while. Um,
Yeah.
which could be good. Because there's I don't think I would mind Jay getting another run with it. I care the least about it popping onto CM Punk, but WWE sure seems to think it needs to go there. I definitely would like to see LA Knight get a turn with it, and obviously Bronson, Reed, and Breaker, but more likely Breaker than Bronson, but yeah, they absolutely should get it too.
Yeah.
So maybe Seth's injury can turn into a boon here because it'll allow the title to move around on a few of the guys who probably need a run with it, even if it's short. Um, Before Seth's inevitable return, and everyone's like, "Uh oh, Daddy's home." Um, but yeah, it was a pretty solid episode all the way around. What would your review of WWE Raw be?
I think I would give it a solid 8. 8.5. It was 8, 8.5 neck dubs. Yeah, somewhere around here. Um, It was really good. I really don't have many complaints about it. Um, and that main event was a little mini classic that I didn't even know I was gonna get.
All right, nice. So top tier.
Yeah, top tier.
Yep. For my review, I would say this episode of Raw was solid, especially with the as we just mentioned, the number one contenders battle royal coming together kind of on short notice, going so well. Add into that a RKO out of nowhere tag title change, and couple
Yeah,
that further with Sami Zayn's kind of surprising title change on SmackDown, and I'm beginning to think WWE is finally listening to our advice about title mobility.
yeah.
All in all, I would say this was a solid WWE Raw, giving it a 8 neck nubs and definitely top tier.
Eight neck nub tier.
Exactly. Well, that has been our coverage of WWE Raw, and I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. And I would invite you to join us for our next episode, which I believe will be our coverage of the upcoming Friday Night SmackDown. We were a little bit busy this past weekend, just between a combination of real life and the fact that AEW's Wrestle Dream was going on. Um, so to kind of quickly summarize, last Friday's SmackDown was excellent.
Yeah,
Um, Giving it to you in brief, all of the matches were good. The one of the highlights of the night was Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov, a returning Ilya Dragunov, um, having a wonderful U.S. title match, and Ilya Dragunov picking up the U.S. title, so he is the new U.S. champ. And I look forward to seeing what Ilya can do with that. Um, we also saw the MFTs come out, and they are returned to, I guess, their full strength with a returning Tamatonga who looks like he found the hell out of the gym while he was gone. That dude came back double wide, and in a good way.
yeah.
So and now they're coming out with like this face paint that's like white and black that makes them have a little bit more menace. And we got to see it's almost in response to us having said that Talatonga has the softest, babyest choke slam. He came out there and he choke slammed the ever living shit out of someone. I don't even remember who at this point,
Doesn't remember
but
that that person got chokes. That's it. They got chokeslammed so hard that they are out of existence now.
yeah, he knocked him out of my memory, but this choke slam was from the rafters and then straight to hell. It was beautifully done. So whatever instruction the MFTs have been given, if it's in response to the criticism that they don't look hard enough, if this is the beginning of them starting to look hard, it's working. And it looks like they're staging the MFTs to go off into a feud with the Wyatt Six. And I'm not 100% sure how that works because I don't think the numbers add up right exactly. Unless Nikki Cross is going to somehow get involved in a match. I don't know. She
Yeah.
could probably take Tongaloa. Sorry, Tongaloa. Not really. Um, but suffice it to say, it was a return to form. SmackDown, we had heard the news that there was going to be a creative shakeup at SmackDown to try and improve the product. And I have to say, last week's SmackDown definitely lived up to it. And then we also watched AEW's Wrestle Dream, which was on par for like every pay-per-view event they've done in 2025. It was another absolute banger of a pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
I know that the internet thought that AEW went way too far in the John Moxley Darby Allin match. I don't think so. I feel like I've seen things that are more over the top than, him dragging Darby in there and kind of pretending to drown him in a fishbowl, um, or in a fish tank, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's a dumb talking point that I think overshadows just how excellent that match ended up being, and a returning like major grandpa energy Sting who beat the crap out of everybody with a bat before he hightailed it out of there. What a look for Sting, by the way. But yeah, it's just an absolutely fantastic pay-per-view that I would give top tier to, probably a 9. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, we saw some really good matches. We saw Statlander versus Storm in a very good match. Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe in an extremely good match. Um, I all I can do is recommend it. But unfortunately, we didn't have time to do full length podcasts for those things. But we would like to let our listeners know that SmackDown was top tier and Wrestle Dream was top tier. And then Monday Night Raw, obviously, if you just listened, was also top tier. So it's been good wrestling over the past weekend, and we hope this trend continues.
Yeah, we like
Um,
that. A lot more to
and
talk about.
I just want to say we like both. We like both WWE and AEW, and our criticisms come from a place of we have seen better. We know you can do better. We want you to do better because we're fans of this stuff. That's why we do this. I know I can be very acidic sometimes with my commentary, especially when we've got Triple H telling the internet wrestling community to go fuck themselves. And my opinions are strong. I make no apologies for that. But know that this all comes from a place of wanting a better product from any of these companies. Um, and right now, it seems like we're kind of getting that. There's some ways that we have seen WWE really make some marked improvements. Do we still have some very big criticisms? Yes, absolutely. Their ticket prices are absurd. Their in ring stuff could use a lot of work, but this is trending in the right direction. Um, so, with all of that said and all of that recap done, thanks again. And I don't think there's anything left for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest WWE news and shows. You can find us on all major podcast platforms as well as our YouTube channel where we upload all of our episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and X for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.